Okay, now let's look some examples here. As you saw before in my previous example, if we're converting 1/2 to decimal, that means that that's 1 divided by 2 over there, and then once you divide it, you get 0.5, and it's a terminating decimal. Number 2, if we have a mixed number, like 1/2, what you do is you can convert it to improper fractions. And so how do you do that? So you multiply 3 by 1, okay, and then you add the 2 over 3. And then when you evaluate 3 times 1 plus 2 is 5, and then there's the denominator, which is 3. So now we have a mixed, an improper fraction, which is 5/3, which is the same as 5 divided by 3. And when you divide 5 by 3, you get 1.66666666, and it goes on forever. And of course, we know that this is a recurring decimal, so we can write it as 1.6 and the dot on top of the 6 again to indicate that the 6 repeats itself, and it just keeps on going forever. Now, if we want to convert from decimal to fraction, okay, how do we do that? Let's have a look at this first example here. 0.5. Don't forget, 0.5 is the same as saying 0.5 divided by 1. Now you might say, sir, where did this times 10 come from? Well, basically what we want to do is we want to convert the decimal into whole numbers. Okay, and what do we multiply 0.5 to get a whole number of 5? Here we multiply it by 10. And of course, if we multiply the numerator by 10, then we need to multiply the denominator by 10. So we will end up with 5/10. And if we simplify or cancel out, the highest common factor is 5. So 5 goes into 5 once, and 5 goes into 2 twice. So our answer is 1/2. Now, what if we have 1.234? Okay, as you can see here, what I've done is I've separated the whole number component, which is 1, and added the decimal component, which is 0.234. Again, 0.234 is the same as saying 0.234 over 1. And now the next step is we want to convert 0.234 to a whole number. And here, what do we multiply 0.234 to get a whole number? We multiply it by 1,000. How did we know it's 1,000? Look, there's a shortcut here. Simply count the number of decimal places. In this case, it's 1, 2, 3, and that's how that's how many zeros you add to 1. In this case, 1,000. And when you multiply that with that number there, that would give you 234. And again, whatever we multiply the numerator with, we multiply the denominator with the same number as well. So here we'll end up with 1 plus 234 over 1,000. And then from there we can cancel out 234 and 1,000. The highest common factor, I think it's 2. So 2 goes into 234 117 times, and 2 goes into 1,500 times. So your final answer is 1 plus 117 over 500, or you write it down as 1 and 117 over 500. And this last example here is basically converting a negative decimal into fraction. It's the same as converting a positive decimal, but the only difference is because that's a negative decimal there, then your final answer would have a negative.